I want to talk about a characteristic that children show us that they have, and that is, and not always, but in a very profound way, they do. They have an indifference to rewards and punishments. Montessori observed that young children were generally unmoved by rewards and punishments. And of course, this is an observation that has been shared by many parents and early childhood educators around the world for many years. Well, the goal is to have calm, orderly, cooperative children. And what we have seen over the past century is that children tend to become well-mannered and orderly. And this is what Montessori teaches us, that they tend to become well-mannered and orderly as they learn how to work and as they are given the opportunity to move and act independently on objects and lessons and activities in the environment. Those activities that stimulate their interest, or especially they provide movement. Children love movement, they gravitate toward movement, and it's very stimulating to them. And Montessori pointed out that naughtiness and disruptive behaviors seem, in many cases, to happen when a child's constructive energies are diverted from purposeful activity. Perhaps a child is interrupted by an adult who wants to do something for the child that he's trying to do and wanting to do by himself. Or a child simply becomes upset because he hasn't been shown how to accomplish a basic task, and he's frustrated in his attempts. So when a child is upset or unruly, we try to see that if that child has an immediate need that we can help fulfill and place something in his environment to fulfill that need. What we also found is that when unruly behavior must be corrected, the most effective punishment often is simply by not allowing the child to work for a period of time or giving him a little time out because he really wants to get back to his work of creating himself, as you mentioned.
Randall, when you're talking about children wanting to get back to their work, it reminds me of a story that Dr. Elizabeth Kaspari shared with us about one of her students by the name of Mitchell.
Mitchell, yes.
And one day Mitchell was busy doing, I think he was building with the decimal system. He was doing a big math work, and she invited the children to come to snack and have some juice and crackers or whatever it was. He says, I don't want any dumb juice. I wanted to work.
What do you think the need is here then, Mary Ellen? If we're talking about a characteristic that children tend to have of this indifference, what's the need? How can we put that in terms of a need, do you think?
I think the child has a need for intrinsic motivation. He works because it's satisfying to him. I mean, if you look at the faces on these children, they're not waiting for the teacher to come and pat them on the back. They're working to satisfy themselves. And I think that's a real lesson that the research has shown in recent years, that when we give children rewards and gold stars for working, it shifts it to an external motivation rather than internal. And what does that do? It shuts the child down. He'll only do what you ask him to do. So it's much more important. The need of the child is to be in touch with his inner teacher and complete those cycles of development for his own satisfaction. So we don't compliment the child unless he comes to us asking for it. We simply observe and take note, and we'll say, okay, he's ready for the next lesson, or she's ready for the next lesson.